Hello mortals. Humanity as a civilization has gotten pretty far. And at the same time it was at the brink of extinction several times. Some studies even suggest that in the year 70,000 before Common Era, the human population dipped to less than 1,000 humans because of this scumbag. Also this dude, who stopped an almost full-out nuclear war. Humanity is not very likely to survive the next century according to the Fermi paradox, but if it does succeed at avoiding all the apocalyptic events, like nuclear war, antimatter war, existential struggle, Skynet, the death of the sun, it will still have to face the last obstacle. The death of the universe. For what we know, everything started with a bang. Or more accurately, an omnipresent hyperinflation-powered expansion, 14 billion years ago. To this day, the universe continues to expand, and it does so, even faster than before. All of that because you touch yourself at night. In 5 billion years, our sun will die, becoming a red giant, and then collapsing to a white dwarf. In another 120 trillion years, all stars will end up being either white dwarfs or black holes. A bit later, the black hole era of the universe will begin. The entire cosmos will be pitch black, being lightened only occasionally by black hole collisions. Now this period will last very long. Until all the black holes evaporate. If any civilization will somehow enter this era, the only way for them to survive is to harness the power of the black holes. It comes without saying, whatever these civilizations might look, they will certainly not be biological. Let's assume they are digital and immaterial beings, who live inside a simulated reality, because as I said, the outside reality is kind of boring. In order for them to survive, they have to collect and store as much energy as possible, so that they can run their simulation for as long as possible. Also, the colder it is, the more efficient your equipment will work. Half the temperature, double the number of calculations per joule. That's why it would be logical to collect as much energy and store it until the universe gets really cold. Now back to black holes. How can we harness their power? Mainly Hawking radiation. Black holes evaporate by emitting it. Bigger ones do it slower, smaller ones do it faster. And that takes a lot of time. A billion-ton black hole gives off the equivalent power of a nuclear plant, and leaves for around 1 trillion years, while a bigger one generates enough power in 1 billion years to just power a light bulb for a second. That might seem an incredibly small amount of power. But don't forget, black holes live for a lot of time, and considering you are living inside a simulation, you can just slow down your subjective time, so that 1 second, for your perspective is actually 1 trillion years. You have nowhere to hurry anyways, the universe is pretty much dead. Slowing down time would also make long-distance communication between civilizations almost instantaneous. At this rate of subjective time, a black hole can host an entire galactic empire with trillions of simulated citizens which are powered by an energy source equivalent of a light bulb. But there is one catch. You see, it's really hard to create equipment that can last for at least a decade. Now imagine trillions of years. A benefit of living in the void is that your equipment will not be affected by outside forces, like erosion. However, the true problem is something else, something unavoidable. Matter decays. Some do it faster, some do it slower, but you can't stop it. Probably. Iron is the most stable element, that means all your matter will slowly turn into it. But no worries, it will happen, very, very far into the future. Long after the death of all the black holes. That is if protons don't decay. If they do, it's a completely different story. It involves unicorns, positronium and white holes. And I'm not sure about the white holes. Now, I have a mission for you. Collect everything you can, don't throw anything away. We will need it in order to feed black holes, so that they can last longer. And no, it's not too early to start, don't question my logic mortals. Now go, I need to free my RAM.